Welcome to the studio at That Nerd Show. I'm Marcus Blake, and this is your daily nerd news for Thursday, February 20th, 2020. Our top stories of the day take us to the world of film. Oscar winner Anthony Hopkins will be starring as Mike Tyson's legendary trainer Cus D'Amato in the boxing movie Cussin' Mike. That's right, Anthony Hopkins is set to star in this movie, Cussin' Mike, the story of Mike Tyson's legendary trainer, and how he molded the fighter into becoming the youngest heavyweight title winner ever and one of the most ferocious boxers of his generation. The Patriot Pictures film, which is set to be a character study as well as a sports biopic, will be directed and written by the Notebook and John Q filmmaker Nick Cassavetes. It's based on the original screenplay by Desmond Nakano and the book Mike Tyson, Money, Myth, and Betrayal by Montieth Illingworth. The film will chart how the tough but brilliant D'Amato became a father figure to the wayward adolescent Tyson, who would go on to become the revered fighter and then also a figure of controversy. The search for the young Tyson is underway. There is no casting yet regarding who will be playing that role, but we will let you know as soon as we find out. D'Amato, who died in 1985, also trained Floyd Patterson and Jose Torres. He has long been the source of film interest. Martin Scorsese and Jamie Foxx were trying to thrash out a movie version of the Coach boxer story, and of course Bruce Willis was attached to another biopic. George C. Scott portrayed him in the 1995 HBO movie Tyson. But anyway, the five-time Oscar nominee Hopkins is coming off rave reviews for his performance in the movie The Two Popes and the Sundance title Father. Producing the film are Michael Mendelsohn from Patriot Films and Jim Steele. Mendelssohn's Union Patriot Capital Management is fully financing the film, and of course Natalie Parada and Todd Smith will be executive producing. Cassavetes said about the film, "This is an absolute dream scenario for me, an opportunity to work with Sir Anthony in a movie about two of my all-time heroes, Cus D'Amato and Mike Tyson, the most ferocious and of course my favorite fighter who ever lived. In a story about a father figures that disappeared too soon, I'm in heaven, so happy that my first film with Mike Mendelsohn and Patriot Films and Patriot Pictures is going to be this one. It should be one for the ages." We cannot wait to check it out. A few of us here at That Nerd Show are huge boxing fans, especially the movies. So we'll definitely let you know what we think of this film once we get a chance to see it over the next couple of years. Hopefully it'll be out by the end of 2021. And again, as I said before, as soon as we know who will be playing the young Mike Tyson, we will let you know. In other movie news, Liam Neeson has a new movie that he'll be starring in. He's always busy, but he will be starring in the thriller Memory from the Casino Royale director. Anyway, last minute project and buyer interest regarding films to the European film market that's been underway in Berlin. Liam Neeson will lead the cast of Memory, an action thriller from Casino Royale director Martin Campbell. The film is based on the 2003 Dutch film The Memory of a Killer. Dario Scartapane from The Bridge has written the screenplay for the English language version. Neeson will play an expert assassin with a reputation for discreet precision who, when he refuses to complete a job for a dangerous criminal organization, becomes a target and must go on the hunt for those who want him dead. Kathy Schulman from Crash is producing through her Well Entertainment banner with Rupert McConaughey and Arthur Skasizian. Black Bear Pictures, Teddy Schwartzman is also producing, and Michael Heimler and Ben Stillman will executive produce, and Black Bear will fully finance this film. This is a Black Bear film, and it's scheduled to commence photography, to start shooting later this year in August. Pardon the interruption while you watch this fantastic video by That Nerd Show, but we wanted to remind you that when you're done, go to mynerdswag.com and check out all the cool swag that we sell to help support this great news outlet. Yeah, if you like funny gaming or pop culture retro t-shirts, we have them. If you want a fantastic nerd bracelet, show your love as a nerd, we have that. We are also the home of the Baby Yoda t-shirt. That's right, we got a Baby Yoda t-shirt that you can buy and help support that nerd show. So when you're done, go to mynerdswag.com, check it out, help support the show, and keep the lights on. Every purchase helps. Now on to TV news. We only have one item for you today, but we're already starting to get some early renewals by major networks. One of those is the show Blacklist. It has been renewed for a season 8 by NBC. NBC ordered an 8th season of the Blacklist. It's the second consecutive year the veteran drama has received an early renewal. This time the pickup was tied to the celebration of the Blacklist's 150th episode with the cast and crew in New York, actually this morning, where the renewal announcement was just made by NBC executives. There are no current plans for season 8 to be the show's final season. They have not announced that yet, but it could very easily end up being the final season. Additionally, NBC has set a return date for the Blacklist's current 7th season, which will resume Friday, March 20th at 8 p.m. with 2 back-to-back episodes. The Blacklist pickup did not come out of the blue. It's been there's been a certain anticipation of the renewal, leading to Studio Sony Pictures Television over the past few months, which closed new deals with the original cast members whose contracts were coming to an end, including stars James Spader and Megan Boone. The show's entire cast is set to return next season. Congratulations to our incredible cast, producers, and crew, of all of whom to reach this excellent week in and out, said Lisa Katz and Tracy Poksta, the co-presidents of the scripted programming NBC Entertainment. Couldn't be more excited to continue the stories of Red and Liz's adventures into season 8. After a meteoric early ratings run, the Blacklist, in which NBC Universal has ownership stake, has become a reliable utility player for NBC. Currently in its 7th season, the Blacklist is averaging 1.1 ratings in adults 18 to 49 and 6.6 million viewers overall in the Live Plus 7 Nielsen's to tie as the season's #1 Friday drama in most current 18 to 49 season standings. With the addition of digital linear delayed viewing to the date, the show's October 4th season premiere has grown 1.6 in the demographic of 18 to 49-year-olds, and of course 8.1 million viewers. Additionally, the Blacklist is a major profit generator for Sony TV. Another reason why it's getting renewed. So there you have it. This current season will be returning on March 20th, and we will get one more season. And if it's the last, we'll let you know as soon as something is announced. But for fans of the Blacklist, you're going to get a whole nother year of James Spader playing Red, who basically is a dealer in the dark world of spies, black market goods, and of course it's James Spader, so he's always entertaining. All right, back to quick movie news, because this is going to segue into gaming news. It looks like that there is a Borderlands movie adaptation in the works from Eli Roth, the great horror director, with Lionsgate. That was announced today. Anyway, Avi Arad and Erik Feig will produce the latest big screen reimagining from the gaming world. For those of you that don't know, Borderlands 3 just came out last year from Gearbox. It's been a highly popular game series. We're all huge fans of it. But anyway, Cabin Fever and Hostel director Eli Roth is set to direct the movie adaptation from the action video game franchise. Emmy-winning screenwriter Craig Mason penned the script for the project, and will be produced by Avi Arad through their Avi and Ari Arad through their Arad Productions banner, and Erik V, who oversaw development through Picture Start. The action RPG shooter franchise from Gearbox Software and publisher 2K, of course, came out with Borderlands 3 last year. Was very highly rated in one of our top 10 games of the year. But this is what Ross said in a statement. I'm so excited to dive into the world of Borderlands, and I could not be doing it with a better script, producing team, and studio. I've had a long, successful history with Lionsgate. I feel like we have grown up together, and that everything in my directing career has led to a project of this scale and ambition. The Borderlands movie is the latest video game adaptation after Mortal Kombat, the Angry Birds movie, Pokemon Detective Pikachu, and of course Sonic the Hedgehog, which ruled the box office this past weekend. They've all made it to the big screen and streaming services from the gaming world. But anyway, Lionsgate Borderlands Reimagining will be executive produced by Randy Pitchford and Strauss Zelnick. So anyway, don't know really what much to say about this. It's kind of interesting that they would take this video game franchise and make it into a movie. But then again, every popular video game series tends to be made into a movie at some point. We will definitely check it out. We'll actually let you know whether it's more fun to play the game compared to the movie, or if it's the same. So, but there you have it. Eli Roth will be taking on the Borderlands movie. No word yet on where they're going to actually start within the story itself. Whether it's going to be a little bit based on the first Borderlands game or 3, or a combination of all 3 games. So, we'll let you know more once we know more. And finally, that takes us to gaming news for the day. There's only one item in regards to gaming besides the Borderlands movie being announced. So here it is. For PS4 and Xbox One players, PUBG players can now party up. So let me explain what that means a little bit more. PUBG on consoles is rolling out an update to its private test server today, which allows console players to party up together. Crossplay came to PS4 and Xbox One a while back, but it only affected how the game filled out lobbies. Basically, you could defeat players on other platforms, but you couldn't squad up with them. As of today, you can. So update 6.2 is now live in the main game, but if typical timelines hold true, it should become available in a few weeks. Following similar gameplay changes, which just hit PUBG on PC this week. And for those of you that don't know what PUBG is, it's PlayerUnknown Battleground. But PUBG's main menu now includes an in-game friends list system, much like that have come to other cross-play games lately. This is meant to help you keep track of all your friendly faces you meet in the otherwise grueling world of PUBG. There's more than just the crossplay parties coming to PUBG on consoles too. Team Deathmatch is also now available in the PTS, which is funny since Battle Royale first skyrocketed to popularity because of this so starkly, different than the standard PvP like Team Deathmatch. I guess you could say that everything comes full circle eventually. TDM and PGM is played in games of 8 versus 8 across 7 maps, pulled from the game's much larger sandboxes. Rounds are played 10 minutes at a time, or you can cash out with a win as soon as your team hits 50 kills. Go ahead and take note that it's only playable in the first-person mode. So, unfortunately, third-person players will not be able to do anything with PUBG. So there you have it, a very interesting update, and this is also kind of exciting because we've never really experienced a game, especially Battle Royale, where you can team up cross-platform before. So that means that, let's say we can take our gaming staff here at That Nerd Show, and we don't all have to be on the same console to be able to play PUBG and put together our own team. We can all be playing on a different system. So that's actually pretty interesting. Again, never really happened before. And maybe that's the beginning of a lot of cross team play with different kinds of games, as we get closer to the next generation of consoles. So, but, if you're a gamer like us, then you have an Xbox and a PlayStation and maybe a Switch. But maybe we're coming to a point in time with certain games where you only have to have one console. Wouldn't that be nice when it comes to the pocketbook? But that's what's going on in the world of TV, film, and gaming today. So now for our question of the day. Since our top story of the day had to deal with a boxing movie with Anthony Hopkins set to play Customato in a movie about Customato grooming Mike Tyson to be the future heavyweight and the most ferocious fighter, I thought it'd be kind of fun to ask a question in regards to boxing movies. Now, this isn't for everybody. Maybe it's just for a few of you out there. But here's the question. What movies should be made about other boxers? Okay? So I want you to think about that for a moment. Of course, we've had plenty of movies made about Muhammad Ali. Why not? Because he's Muhammad Ali. And of course, you have to talk about Joe Frazier because he's linked with Muhammad Ali. We've had great boxing movies before, with Roberto Duran, Hands of Stone, a couple of years ago. We had a great one with Vinny Paz. That was cool. Cinderella Man, which is my all-time favorite boxing movie outside of the Rocky movies, which is about 1930s champion Irish boxer James Braddock, who Joe Louis once said was the most courageous boxer he ever faced. We've had that one. Of course, you've got the Rocky movies. But when it comes to real-life boxers, what other movies can we make? Yeah, we had a movie about Joe Louis and Max Schmeling facing off against each other. I think we even had one where Jon Favreau played a young Rocky Marciano. And let's not forget one of the most popular boxer movies of all time, one of the truly greats, Martin Scorsese's Raging Bull, where Robert De Niro played Jake LaMotte. So, who's next? There's so many other, great boxers out there. Of course we're going to do movies about Mike Tyson. I mean, still, Mike Tyson's Punch-Out is one of the great all-time, boxing games. But there's so many different boxers that have come and gone that have had interesting careers. Tommy Morrison, not only became truly popular through pop culture because he was in Rocky V, but because he was the first boxer to be diagnosed with HIV and have to quit. And, this is a guy who probably should have been champion a lot longer than he should, and he just couldn't get out of his own way. We've never really done a movie about Floyd Patterson. We've never done a movie about Sonny Liston, who was one of the most, the darkest characters in the boxing world. There was a great documentary that came out on Showtime this past year, or in 2019, and loved it. But I'm kind of surprised that we haven't, done a movie about him. George Foreman, I mean, is that not a great story? His rise to become a champion, to take down Joe Louis, then to lose it to Muhammad Ali. And then to become champion nearly 20 years later when he's pushing 40, who could still hit and, was overweight. I just think there's so many other boxers out there that have great stories too. Was it Bernard Hopkins? And I apologize if I'm getting that wrong, who, served, or Martin Hagler, one of them who served 5 years in prison before he got to become a boxer. Yes, we had The Fighter, with Mark Wahlberg and, Christian Bale. Wahlberg played Mickey Ward. That was a fantastic movie. But I say this, why not Evander Holyfield? Evander Holyfield has such an interesting story. I mean, he won in different classes. Again, Floyd Patterson, was he really that good of a boxer? He was kind of a people's champion, but then he lost horrifically twice to Sonny Liston. And we never talk about Rocky Marciano as much anymore. I mean, yes, he gets linked in pop culture because of the fictional character Rocky and how he is portrayed. That he is basically another version of Rocky Marciano. And don't get me wrong, that's great. But why not revisit that? This was a fighter who truly went undefeated. Nobody ever beat him. He retired at 49-0. And unlike Floyd Mayweather, who basically dodged boxers when they were in their prime and fought them later when he knew he could win, he actually fought tough guys. So I'm just, I'm saying there's so many other boxers out there. Who do we make a movie about next? Who is interesting enough to make a movie about next? That fits, kind of, that would, in pop culture. I'm still, who? I just think there's a lot more boxers out there, especially if you want to go all the way back to the early 20th century with like maybe John Sullivan. So it's hard, I get it. It's hard to get past Muhammad Ali, when you're doing a movie about boxers. He is the greatest. He's the greatest because of who he was, because of how he marketed himself. He was also the loudest. And yes, he was a great fighter. No doubt about it. Even though he lost 4 years of his life, having to give up, the title because he wouldn't serve in the military on religious grounds to go fight Vietnam. And we've made movies about that court case. So I say, who's next? Let's find another great boxer that we can do a movie about. Maybe someone that's a little bit closer to, now. Again, I still think the Tommy Morrison, a movie about him would be very interesting. I mean, there's a great 30 for 30 documentary about Tommy Morrison, and he is such a tragic boxer. He should get, we should get more of a movie about him than, his role in Rocky V. And he was great in Rocky V, even though it was a terrible movie. I'm not denying that. But I'd like to hear from everybody. I mean, we would like to hear from you. What other boxer should we make a movie about? I still think we should do another Rocky Marciano movie. It's about time. Or even revisit Joe Louis again. I mean, I'd take a reboot of the Joe Louis and Max Schmeling fight. Yes, we can always come up with movies about fictional characters. Nobody denies that $1 Million Baby is such a fantastic movie. And again, like I said, Cinderella Man is one of my all-time favorites, but it's about a real boxer that most people don't remember. There's got to be somebody out there that we can make a movie about. So, we'd love to hear from you. Tell us a boxer that you'd like to see a movie made about. You can tweet us out on our Twitter account @ThatNerdShow. Send us your answer. I'm Marcus Blake with That Nerd Show, and this has been your daily nerd news for February 20th, 2020. Until the next time, goodbye. Hello there, fellow nerds. I'm Marcus Blake, the editor and producer of That Nerd Show, and we need your help. That's right, we need your support. Like any news outlet, we rely on advertising and donations to keep the lights on. To be the greatest show in this universe, we need funding, and that's where you come in. Like most artists out there, we actually have a Patreon account, and we're asking for donations. But we're not just asking for you to give us money. We actually have stuff that we're going to be giving away if you donate. So we'll be uploading more and more videos to our Patreon account from YouTube, from our daily news to interviews with celebrities to gaming videos and all of our other individual shows that we are doing here in 2020. But to keep us going, we need a little bit of funding. And again, that's where you come in. So it can be as little as $1. $1 makes all the difference in the world. And you can do anywhere from $1 to $3 to $5, all the way up to $500. And we're going to be giving stuff away for your donations. So you could get some Nerd Power wristbands or any other wristbands from our series of wristbands that we're creating for nerds. You can get cool retro gaming t-shirts from our Nerd Swag shop if you make a donation of $20 or more. You can even get advertising on our website or within our videos if you make a purchase or donate $50 or more dollars. We have different tiers, like most artists. Want that new video game that's coming out this year? You want to be playing the same video game we are as we're reviewing it? Hey, you can do that with a $100 donation. Are you looking to get a new console before the year is out? Hey, $500 and you can get an Xbox One, a PlayStation 4, or even a Nintendo Switch. It just takes a little bit to help us. As little as $1 per video that we do. And we're going to have a variety of videos that you can help support. So if you like our content, if you like everything that we do as nerds, from honest conversations about pop culture to great celebrity interviews to wacky and fun gaming videos, then help support us on our Patreon account. You can check us out at patreon.com/thatnerdshow. You can check us out at patreon.com/that. Take 3. Go to patreon.com/thatnerdshow and make your donation today. Even if it's just $1, we would greatly appreciate it. Thank you and stay nerdy.